When babies are born, they naturally have their days and nights confused, but it can be very exhausting for parents. If this sounds like your situation right now, stay tuned for this video and we will talk all about how to get your baby's days and nights reversed. When you were pregnant with your baby, your actual daily movements were lulling your baby to sleep. Think about if you have a very active job, if you walk around a lot, you're literally just like lulling your baby to sleep all day. But as soon as you lay down and your head hits that pillow, your baby's awake and it's party time. I remember when I was pregnant with my first and my husband would come to bed after me at night and he said he would literally just hold on to my stomach because he would feel like soccer practice was going on inside my belly. So yes, babies tend to be awake all night long in utero, and it's the same thing when they come out, and it's just gonna take some time to help them reverse it. So how are we going to help fix this day versus night confusion? Let's talk about it. Off the bat, your baby does not have a circadian rhythm. It takes about 8 weeks for your baby to develop their circadian rhythm. That means that before 8 weeks old, your child does not have the sense of a 24-hour daily cycle. It takes about 8 weeks to create that. And if you think about the way of the world, in utero, everything is exactly the same. It's dark, it's loud and whooshy, and it's nice and tight and snug. When they come out in the world, there's the sun and the moon and the stars and the day and the night, and they have never experienced any of that, obviously. So when they come out in the world, it's going to take time to adjust. So you're probably wondering how you can help. Number one is that you have to respect the wake windows. Newborn wake windows are only about 45 minutes for the first month of your baby's life. So as your baby is getting used to the world, they're really not awake for very long stretches of time in between sleeping, but making sure that they're not getting overtired is going to help their body develop further. And then also making sure that you're waking your baby every 2 hours at naps. So you never want your baby at any point really to sleep longer than a 2-hour stretch, especially because you want your baby to sleep these longer stretches at night, and during the day you need to wake them up at 2 hours because you need to feed them. So of course at night, obviously you don't have to wake them every 2 hours unless, this is like my little disclaimer, unless it is advised by your child's pediatrician to wake them to have them eat. Otherwise, a good portion of newborns and infants are able to just sleep at night when they want to sleep, and then if you wake them every 2 hours during the day, you're going to help them create and develop that circadian rhythm. Another tip that I have for you is that in the morning when you wake up your baby, you want to have a big morning routine. You want to say good morning to your baby as soon as it is time to wake up. Let's say your wake up time is 7 a.m. When you go in that nursery at 7 a.m. or if your baby is still sleeping in your room, highly likely, you want to make sure you're saying good morning, baby. Open the curtains, get some light in there. Turn on some calm music. You can put on some classical music. You could just put on anything, really. But you want to make this first feeding of the day, you want it to be out of the bedroom, completely different than your overnight feedings. You don't want to just pull your baby into your bed, pop them on the boob or give them the bottle and then just kind of cuddle for a while. As much as you want to do that, what I would recommend is getting up out of bed, changing your baby's diaper, wiping down his or her face, just kind of like freshen up for the day, get them dressed, and then you can have those cuddles where you are feeding, getting the day started. You have the curtains open, the brightness and light is coming in, and your baby will get the message that this feeding right now is different than what we did all night long, so this isn't middle of the night anymore. I'm not just gonna go right back to sleep. During the day, now obviously with a newborn who is not even a month old yet, it's going to be difficult to do this, but try after that first month, try following the eat, play, sleep routine. So basically it means that when your baby wakes, you change their diaper and then you feed and then you play, whatever you're gonna consider play, an activity, face-to-face time, tummy time, whatever it might be, and then they will sleep. So they're not necessarily associating eating with sleeping. Now, of course, this goes without saying, saying, well, maybe it doesn't go without saying, maybe I have to say it, that it's always all about practicing these routines and practicing these wake windows and practicing all of these different habits and skills that are going to help your baby's circadian rhythm develop. It's going to help it set their internal clock so that when it's sleep time, they're really like getting those cues from their melatonin starting to produce because you have these routines, that they're going to know what comes next. Now, of course, during that first month, I don't want you to worry at all about the eat, play, sleep routine. If it pops in your head and you're like, oh, we just ate, maybe we can do some tummy time and then, you know, they'll be ready for a nap again. That's great. But honestly, after the first month is when I really start implementing eat, play, sleep. Otherwise, that whole first couple weeks, like, you're in survival mode, mama. Like, heal your body, get to know your baby, and worry about the routines and stuff later, but still just keep it on the back burner. My next tip is also about routines and having a bedtime routine. Now, this does not have to be glamorous or elaborate or anything like crazy. You can have a routine for bedtime from day one. So what this means is that you get into the nursery, you're giving your baby that last feeding, which this one can be in the nursery right before bed because you want your baby's body to trigger the production of melatonin, like knowing that this is a different feeding than the rest of the day. But you may want to keep them in their diaper for this feeding. So what I like to do is have this specific bedtime feeding. I like to have it skin to skin. So get your baby down to diaper. Not only is this going to help with your skin to skin bonding time, but it's also going to keep your baby awake. So if he or she is getting tired from a big long day, having them naked will discourage them from falling asleep. And then after that, after you burp them, maybe you're looking at some books together. And honestly, like at that newborn phase, color contrast books are a great idea. You obviously don't need to go read novels, but just looking at pictures, talking, singing, rocking, humming, just enjoying some time together. And then if your baby poops, I mean, regardless whether they poop or not, but this is why I like to put the feeding a little bit before you're putting your baby in their pajamas and changing their diaper and doing all of that, getting them in their swaddle or their sleep sack, because you want them to be able to digest the food while you're doing another calm activity together. And then you're gonna change their diaper, get their pajamas on, get them swaddled up, turn off the light, turn on the white noise, close the door, cuddle up. See if your baby will fall asleep independently. They probably won't for the first couple months, it's fine. But once they're getting the hang of this routine, they're going to fall asleep much easier at bedtime. Now, I know I mentioned the white noise and the blackout curtains. I want you to make sure that you have both of these things in action all night long. You want consistent white noise for the entire duration of your baby's sleep. You don't want any light in the room whatsoever. So any lightness, and this is why when it's wake up time in the morning, you open the windows and the blinds to get some lightness in the room, because that triggers your baby's brain to be awake. This is wake up time, like this is light, the sun is up, it's time to be up. So if you're turning on lights in the middle of the night or turning on the TV and just kind of sitting back and relaxing and scrolling your phone and all of these things when you're trying to feed your baby in the middle of the night, they're gonna have a harder time falling back asleep. So I would definitely try and stay away from that as much as possible. At the very least, if you need to listen to a podcast or watch a YouTube video, such as mine. That was so cheesy. But if you need to do any of those things to kind of get yourself distracted and sidetracked while you're trying to feed your baby and you're just tired, put some headphones on, keep your phone at the dimmest brightness, and just don't stimulate your child, because then you're both gonna be up for a long time and you definitely don't want that. If you found this video helpful, then I know that you will find a lot of helpful information in my newborn baby sleep course. Check out the description box down below for the link to my course. Grab it today. For more newborn baby sleep tips, check out this playlist over here. To subscribe to my channel, click this button here, and keep blooming. Mwah!